For 8 years, I was stuck making £15,000 a year, and I thought I had a money problem. But it wasn't a money problem, it was a belief problem. The moment my subconscious mind started to believe that I was worth 10,000 or more every single month, that's when my reality caught up. So if you're hovering around £3,000 to £5,000 a month, I'm going to show you exactly what I changed to turn my yearly income into my monthly minimum. And I'm going to show you how you can shift it too. As I was saying, for 8 years, I was broke. And my daughter Esme, she's 7 now. My son Elijah, he's 2. And £15,000 a year as a single man, never mind a man trying to provide for his family, it's not a lot of money, as you know. And I was struggling bad. My ex-partner was paying the rent. I used to sit in bed, I'd visualize taking my kids to Dubai, treating them to a trip to Disneyland. And as much as I visualized and wrote down, I am so happy and grateful that I have took my children to Disneyland, nothing changed. And I was working really hard. I was to the point where I was exhausted. I was in the modeling industry. I was in the gym about 4 hours every day. I was always getting my pictures done. And no matter how much I grinded and hustled, I just couldn't attract jobs. And I was seeing other people in the modeling industry that in my perception were not as handsome as me or had the looks and the attributes that I had. And they was traveling all over the world, working with absolutely massive brands and making a fortune. And this just frustrated me even more. And I sat back and thought, well, what am I missing? Because I knew about the law of attraction. I came across Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, which you probably know, at a very early age. And I came across Bob, my mentor. I came across Think and Grow Rich. I knew how to visualize. I knew how to do affirmations. But everything that I'd done, it just didn't feel like it was working for me. And to the outside world, I probably did look successful. I was posting pictures on Instagram where I was looking good. So to the outside world, I probably did look like I was making a lot of money. But that wasn't the case. And within inside of me, I felt limited. I was seeing these people on Instagram flying to Dubai, flying to Portugal, doing really nice things with their children. And I was sat at home while my ex-partner's paying the rent, we're having to budget our food, and there was no holidays. So I told you earlier that I was reading Think and Grow Rich. I was doing everything that Napoleon Hill was telling me to do, or at least I believed that I was. And for 8 years of making the same amount of money, I was that frustrated that I went to Bob Proctor's website and I scheduled a call with one of his team. And that call, it changed everything for me. The guy that I spoke to, Cam, he made me realize that I didn't actually believe that I was the type of person that could make £10,000 or more in a month. So in other words, my self-image was stuck in survival mode. Now, years down the line, I'm now aware that our self-image pretty much controls everything, and we can never outperform our self-image. So I had to reprogram that belief that was fixed inside my subconscious mind of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, no one in your family has done it, so who do you think you are to think that you can do it? Now, when I got that 6-month mentorship, I'm telling you, it changed the game for me. I learned what a C-type goal was for one, because I was aiming way too low. And when I first had that call with Cam, he said, what's your goal? And I said, well, I've made £15,000 in a year. I would really love to make £25,000 in a year. And Cam was blunt. He said, that's not a good goal. That's a B-type goal. He said, how much money would you really want to make? And he made a suggestion to me that I thought was nuts. He said, why don't you focus on turning your yearly income into a monthly income? And that mentorship really taught me the power of visualization, but how to get emotionally involved with an idea. And then I started to understand that emotions are the language of the subconscious. And another thing that I implemented that I would suggest you do, I started practicing gratitude before the results came. So before I made my first £10,000 month, I was waking up every single morning and writing down, I am so happy and grateful that I have made £10,000 in a month. The feeling within inside of my body feels absolutely incredible. Universe, thank you so much. And I started to make decisions from the version of me that was already making £10,000 a month. When I first had that call with Cam, I didn't have the money for the mentorship. The old version of me that was making £15,000 a year could never invest $10,000, $15,000 in a mentorship. Cam explained to me that you've got to start thinking, feeling, acting, and making decisions like your future self. So he said, what would your future self do right now? And I was like, well, he'd get the mentorship, but I don't have the money. And that's where I learned about decisions. He told me that you don't need the money. The only prerequisite to making a decision is, do you want to do this? And I was like, hell yeah. He said, if you've made a committed decision, I'm telling you, you're going to find the money. Within 24 hours, I found the initial payment to actually join the mentorship. Mentorship changed the game for me because I started surrounding myself with mentors instead of opinions from family and friends. I actually went to someone who had the results that I wanted, and I did exactly what they told me to do. Within 5.5 months, that 15K that I told you about turned into £18,000 a month. And then I went on to make £35,000 in a month. And I'm not saying this to impress you by no means. I just want you to know that if someone like me can do this, then you can do it. And here's another important part. Nothing outside of me changed. My results didn't change for 5.5 months. It was my belief that changed first. And now that income is absolutely normal to me. And I help my clients do the exact same thing. And what most people get wrong is that they believe on a conscious level. They believe on a conscious level that they can double their income, 10 times their income. But their subconscious mind still rejects the goal. And until our subconscious mind believes that we are worthy of it, the results are never going to show. And this is why hard work is not the answer. You can work as hard as you want, but if your subconscious mind is not aligned with what you want, then you're just going to burn out because you can only attract what you are in harmony with. Don't matter if you work 12 hours every single day. If you're not on the same vibration as the amount of money that you want, the law decrees that you cannot have it because you are not in harmonious vibration with that. Now pay attention to what I'm going to say, because if you want to make 5 figures plus every single month, this is going to be vital to you. Your income cannot exceed the belief that you operate from. When your belief system shifts, that's when the results follow fast. If you're stuck at £3,000 to £5,000 a month, and you know you're meant for more than £10,000 plus, it's time for you to stop guessing and start shifting. Like, if you've been making that amount of money month after month, year after year, don't you think it's time to say enough is enough and really make the changes that are needed for you to attract 5 figures or more a month? I would love to offer you a one-to-one call with me, and I will break down exactly what you need to do to go from where you are to where you want to be, and I will show you those blind spots that are keeping you stuck. So I've opened up a few slots on my calendar, and it's a first come, first serve basis. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, maybe, or whatever, then this call probably isn't for you. But if you are really committed and serious to attracting more than £10,000 every single month, I would really recommend that you book that call with me. I've opened up the next few days because I really want to support you. You can book your free call in the pinned comment and the link in the description. I'll see you soon.